Welcome back to Maker's Journey Workshop. I'm Benjamin Davies, and today I've lost my voice. Bear with me. We're making hardy tools. If you've been paying attention to our last couple of videos, we talk about the process of buying your first real anvil. Chances are you might have to compromise a little bit and get some that have some pretty nasty edges. But if it's got a hard face and it looks like you can work with it and it's within your budget, don't shy away. Today we're going to show you a simple way to make a nice hardy tool. And that hardy tool, you can put all kinds of different edges on, and you can forge these hardies to all different shapes and sizes to suit your needs. And that way they replace the edge of the anvil for you, meaning you can go through and do some offsets on them and not worry about that softer anvil edge giving out on you. The first thing we need to do is find a stock size that we think is not going to be too small and one that's not going to be too big, and that way we're not over forging, thus wearing ourselves out. At this step, when you don't really have any power forging tools, you need to be mindful and exert your energy wisely. So what's the best way to measure your hole? These guys right here are pretty handy. Micrometers, calipers, micrometers, gauges, whatever you want to call them. So it's pretty nice because you can go through and measure right here, and that'll measure your inside diameter, and then right here, you can go through and measure the thickness, and you can take it in and slide pieces of metal in and see what fits close. But now herein lies a new problem. These things measure off 1/10 of an inch, and everything else I measure in my shop and my fluid way of measuring is 1/16 and 32nds of an inch. But don't worry, I've got a formula and a workaround for that too, to really break down the math simply in a way that you can understand it. So 3/4, obviously too sloppy of a fit. 1 inch looked close, it didn't look like it would quite fit. You know what I mean? But 1.25 seemed just right. Not too big, not too small. Don't judge me. If you don't have a cot at work, are you really even serious about forging? Gosh, bunch of judgers. Before we get started, we just want to say thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And if you're enjoying our content or any of our other videos, make sure that you're... One of our favorite things about after we post the videos is seeing what y'all write in the comments below. Please, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you find most helpful, your favorite parts, and some of the projects that you're hoping to see in the future. If it seems to be a pretty popular opinion, we'll do our best to make it happen. Thank y'all for being here. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. For this next step, we're going to use our angle grinder. We've got our cutoff wheel already mounted, but you'll notice that I don't have a guard on mine. These things are dangerous enough to use as it is, so be super careful. I wasn't going to put a guard on here and pretend like it's something that I do. I don't like them, they get in my way, but that does come with a lot more risk. These little composite discs, they like to explode. I've had several explode on me. They're really dangerous. Be careful. If you're new to an angle grinder, because I used one for a long time with a guard, use your guard. Make sure you're wearing your safety equipment. I'm going to show you how I'd cut with an angle grinder. Like I said, if you're new to it, put it on the guard. Let me show you how I'd stand. We've got our metal chucked up right here. Here's our line. So by coming into our metal like this, I don't have any hands or face or parts of my body hanging over that disc. I can operate this back here. I can squeeze it in and lock it in, and I can move my hand up and down the body of the tool, and that way it gives me a more accurate and comfortable way to cut. And it also allows me to see without getting burned or without having my eyes directly over the tool. For me, this has been the best vantage point and the best way to cut working with the tool versus I see so many guys cut this way. So my wrist is now directly over that blade, and so if that blade explodes, it's coming at my wrist. I'm catching sparks in my armpit and in my forearm all day, and I can't really see because as those sparks hit my forearm and armpit, it's bouncing off me left and right. So that's what works best for me. Maybe give it a whirl. Starting stock size, 1.25 inches by 6 inches long. Hot roll 1018 mild steel. What are you talking about mild steel for tool making? Come on, my guy. Oh! Stick with me for just a second. Here we go again, lecture time. When starting out forging, I wasn't great at forging any of these tools. I'd go watch some of these videos and I'd go try to make some of these myself and it'd be frustrating. And sometimes it's hard to come by tool steel when you're starting out. The thing I like about mild steel is you can actually get several uses out of it sometimes before it goes bad. Say you make a mistake on the first go around. Well, you throw your $2 worth of mild steel away and start back over. It's okay. The only way to get better at any of this is practice and doing multiples. Another great reason we're using mild steel today is you're learning heat management within this forging process. So what's that mean? So as we establish our shoulder right here and we hammer that guy into the anvil, that anvil is going to start to cool that bottom, which means that metal won't spread as faster. But you run into a problem here. The top is going to want to mushroom out. And so a real easy way around that is I like to go through and just a couple quick quenches on the tip, enough to cool it, and we go to forging. That way, our hottest parts are right here in the center, and it'll want to expand outwards instead of mushrooming off top. You can really control the way you move your mass as you upset this guy. If that were tool steel and you did that, you would have just ruined your piece and got a bazillion little hairline cracks. Start on mild steel. It's a good teacher. I've seen brilliant, veteran, more seasoned, more talented smiths than myself show up to a demo and not have the correct tool and quickly forge a tool out of mild steel and use it for the rest of the demo without problem. So make what you got work. All right, so our hardy's starting to look a little bit wonky here, and that's okay. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it out and we're gonna forge it and try to establish some sides. One problem we ran into while we were forging this and we were checking up the fit in the hardy hole is our shank right here wasn't square to our top part. And so here's the workaround for that. Go ahead and establish some flat surfaces on the diamond. And then as you tilt it back on its side, try to focus on the one area that's sitting up higher than the other. This is a bigger chunk of steel, so it'll actually lend itself well to you doing this by hand, whereas a smaller chunk of steel might be harder to chase. All right, so at this point, the side of our hardy tool is looking pretty good, but we've got some cupping at the top. You've got two options here. And I advise you go to option one. Put it back in and forge it. Try to get it as flat as you can before you go to the grinder, because if not, it's gonna take a while to either cut or clean up at the grinder. I don't like grinding. It's not fun for me. It is my least favorite thing to do in a metalworking shop. So I'll leave you with this old adage, 10 seconds at the anvil or 10 minutes at the grinder. Maybe you've heard it different ways, but you can do a whole lot by just taking a few extra seconds at the anvil to prevent yourself, a lot of work, a lot of time at the bench. And now we're going to harden it in water. And like I said, it's mild steel, not going to be super hard, but it's going to give you some nice crisp edges and you'll be able to get several hundred uses out of it. All right, now that we've done our quick cleanup, let's test it. It might be just total junk. Who knows? So I just forged these 4 guys right here at the top of this block. And I didn't get a single dent. We'll do a close up on it. And I didn't get a single dent. Hey, thank y'all so much for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make this hardy tool. Concentrate on your heat. Try to get it hottest right here, hit right in the middle, and take your time. Don't get discouraged. Flip back and forth between steps during the upsetting process and the squaring up process. Another thing that I didn't mention in the video was make sure it fits all 4 ways, because sometimes your shank will get offset to the top of your hardy, and that will create problems down the road. So it's good to go through as it's cooling and fit it in all 4 sides. This is a really handy workaround if you've got some bad edges or just don't have the budget to buy a brand new anvil with crisp edges. You can create all the work surfaces you need here. As you're working, as you're growing as a smith, your work will tell you what you need. Just listen to it, look at it. It will review flaws and some things that maybe you can change by changing your hammer style or improving the work surfaces that you're forging on. All right, thank y'all so much for being here today. Get out there, go make some mistakes. Smash that subscribe button. See y'all. Woo! Love that sound. What y'all still doing here? Go home. Ooh, I got like a bunch of videos right here you can go watch too. Go watch those. Sorry, I'm really excited. Smash that subscribe button.